Welcome to Threshold, a place where we explore the sacred in the ordinary and the beauty in the in-between. I'm Molly Wilcox. I'm a wife, a mom, a writer, and your guide as we step over life's thresholds together. Whether you've been reading my newsletter for years or you're just discovering Threshold here, I'm so glad that you're listening. Together, we reflect on faith, creativity, and the small but meaningful ways we're being transformed in the everyday. Let's dive into this week's reflection. I have replayed the conversations in my mind again and again about whether or not I was suffering enough to need medication in my first pregnancy. I remember telling them I had to quit all my freelance projects, but still trying to frame it positively, saying it was a gift we had margin financially. To most trauma-informed providers, this would be a red flag. Pregnancy should not cause a woman to need to quit work. If I had made that choice because I wanted to, fine, but being forced to stop working because of the severity of my symptoms, not normal. My first pregnancy caused me to do way more than quit work. I didn't see my friends, we stopped going to church, I was resigned to my bed, gave up all my hobbies, constantly dehydrated, and felt void of hope. Still, at every prenatal appointment, when I begged for help or answers or something, I was told it was fine. I felt like I had to earn better care. And for some reason, I was repeatedly told, without words, that I was not worthy. You may be wondering at this point, why didn't I switch providers? The thought did cross my mind. I even talked to a friend about it, but I talked myself out of it because this provider was well known and well liked, especially by my faith community. I thought I was getting the best care and that anywhere else it would only be worse. After another morning of vomiting and dragging myself out of the house, my midwife reassured me there weren't really any better options than toughing it out. She said simply, there's another medication I could give you, but it's really unpleasant to take since it's a suppository and you don't want to do that. I remember nodding along while she was talking and thinking, that doesn't sound as bad as this. In preparation for another pregnancy, a new provider cheerily told me, I'll give you the option to try this medication as a rectal suppository. It'll be easier than just trying to swallow a pill. I almost laughed out loud, but I realized she was serious. And the difference in these experiences was unmistakable. She took my symptoms seriously. After that appointment, she sent me a follow-up email with every medication option, a schedule for dosing, and links to studies so I could read the risks and research myself. The problem with my first provider wasn't just her attitude. It was that she never gave me options. She didn't trust me to make the right choice for my body, my lifestyle, or my mental health. Instead, she made me feel like I was being dramatic for struggling through my pregnancy. To this day, I have not met anyone who has had worse pregnancy symptoms than I did. But somehow, that never caught her attention. When I met with a specialist about a treatment plan for HG if I chose to get pregnant again, his background fascinated me. He used to work as an ER doctor, and he'd gotten so fed up with how many pregnant women showed up to the ER dehydrated and struggling because of not getting the care from their own providers. He started a morning sickness and HG clinic. He thought it was ridiculous that we didn't have better options than showing up to the ER just to receive access to the care we needed. During our video call, I told him about my treatment plan from my previous provider, and he laughed out loud, saying it would have never worked. Then he added something I'll never forget. He said it felt like my provider was trying to measure my suffering and see if I had earned care. And that was, unfortunately, common. It felt like he had put words to the wound I had been trying to name all along. Some providers will only offer help once they've decided you're suffering enough to deserve it. And the problem is, suffering is subjective. My first provider had a high threshold. She was hesitant to prescribe anything, and in the process, she let me and my baby take massive risks from dehydration and lack of nutrition. The worst part, I didn't even realize I was taking that risk. I didn't know what choices I could have made. I trusted the advice I was given. I followed the recommendations. I thought it was awful, but I also thought it was the only choice I had. Now, I ask a lot of questions. Even in seemingly small decisions, I want to know the research, the reasoning, the options. My friends jokingly call me Dr. Molly because I've become so invested in understanding how this works. Unfortunately, a lot of providers still expect you to earn your care, but there are really good ones out there too. The midwife team I used for my second pregnancy had a simple but revolutionary policy. Any lab results were uploaded immediately, even if they hadn't been reviewed yet. You get all the same information we have, they told me. We won't withhold it. They had a fully transparent practice. I got access to the notes on me after every appointment, and always got a chuckle from recommending continued mental health counseling due to previous trauma. When decisions needed to be made, I was given choices. I felt like the decision maker in my own care, not someone sitting in a waiting room hoping someone would finally notice me and decide I was worthy of care. My dad, who's an actual doctor, once told me that there are rarely true emergencies in medicine. You usually have time to make a decision. Don't let hospitals rush you, he said. Take your time unless it's truly urgent. And if you're not sure, you can call me. That always stuck with me. Looking back, I can see now how rushed everything felt during my first pregnancy. I was never told I could wait or call or come back having changed my mind. There was no space for that. In more trauma-informed settings, there's always a slower pace. Even when I was told I was miscarrying, the doctor took a long time with us. He let me cry. He gently said, "You don't have to make any decisions today, or even this week. Take your time." I will always remember how long he sat with us, answering every question, patiently listening, allowing for more space than necessary, because it wasn't just about time. It was about trust. When I went through a coaching program, we learned a valuable skill. The client is the one who always has the answers, not us. As coaches, we were trained to help the true expert, the client, find those answers for themselves. In medical settings, I think this is true too. The patient who lives in their body will always know the situation best and know what they need. Good providers will listen and help guide them to make the best choices possible for those unique circumstances. Care isn't something you should have to earn. You shouldn't have to prove you're sick enough, desperate enough, or strong enough to deserve help. You are not a problem to solve or a case to evaluate. You are a whole person, and your suffering matters. What I needed most in my hardest moments wasn't a perfect plan. I needed someone who trusted me, someone who saw me, someone who believed me, someone who thought I was worth caring for. Not later, not if it got worse, not if I started losing too much weight, but right then. If you're in the middle of it right now, confused, dismissed, or doubting whether you're suffering enough to earn help, I hope you know what I wish someone told me. You don't have to wait until it's unbearable to get help. You don't have to earn care. Just ask for what you need and keep asking until you find someone who really listens. There are good providers out there who move slowly, offer choices, and treat you like the expert of your own body. They will validate your pain and suffering, and when you're finally believed, it's life-changing. Thanks for spending time with me today on Threshold. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, subscribe, or leave a review. It all helps so much. And if you're not already part of the community, you can join the conversation by subscribing to my weekly newsletter on Substack, Threshold by mollywilcox.substack.com. Until next time, let's keep finding beauty in the in-between.